Hi, and we're in beautiful Nanaimo, British Columbia for the Men's Provincial Masters B Cup Final between West Van Flying Horses and Vancouver Harps FC. We'll take you to the match now. I'm Ben Steiner. I'll have the call for you right here on BC Soccer Facebook. Thanks for watching. Welcome to Nanaimo, British Columbia for today's Men's Provincial B Masters Cup Final between Vancouver Harps and the West Vancouver Flying Horses. We'll bring you through the starting 11 now. For the Vancouver Harps, it's Brad Bodenheimer in net, Gallagher at left back, Horgan and Cannon manning the middle of the pitch with Forelli at right back, Dalton, Olawan, the captain, Smith and Lawler are the midfielders with Borns and O'Rourke leading the front line for the Harps. And for the Flying Horses, we have goalkeeper Marco Durante, as well as Shane Carfin, Stephen Dewar, who is the oldest player on the team, Kevin Guidi and Eric Ito, who are tied for the youngest people on the team, Ked Clark, Rob Leggett, Drew Lewis, Mark Reed, Ryan Stinson, and Ben West, as we get set for kickoff in this Men's Masters B Provincial Cup Final. O'Rourke set to kick off for the Harps, as they will be attacking from the right to the left in the green shirts and white shorts, while the Flying Horses will be attacking from left to right in orange and white shorts. The referee today is Mohamed Katafai. And there's the whistle, and we're set to kick off here in Nanaimo, British Columbia for the Men's Provincial B Masters Final. Harps maintain possession and try to orchestrate an attack in midfield, but give away the ball in the midfield. And that one is straight up as Mark Reed challenges it in front of the goal. Now it's Forelli. Looks up the field, finds O'Rourke. That one's out for a throw, as we're not seeing too much exact passing so far in this game, but both teams have had a couple touches of the ball as we just get settled into this cup final game. A key for both teams here is going to be able to keep the ball on the ground, because they're not very controlled in the air, and if they can keep the ball on the ground, they'll be able to orchestrate some passes and really work on what they've been working on the training field. Harps now played into the middle as they just played into the box, and that'll be collected by the goalkeeper for West Van, Marco Durante. He was wearing a hat in warm-ups, but he's taken that hat off as he is not facing the sun in the first half, as they probably won that coin toss early in the game. A turnover there, but it's right back to Brad Bodenheimer, who has a bit of a weird tradition before games. Apparently he eats a full cucumber as his pre-match ritual. The captain, Kevin Olawan, told me that yesterday, but it's definitely an odd ritual to eat a whole cucumber right before playing a soccer game. Ball into the box for the Harps, and it bounces around the box as the Flying Horses now get the ball in their third and break out to the left side and over the top to Stoughton. He's challenging the Harps backline, but just can't push through as Forelli gets the ball and just hoofs it up into the midfield for the captain. So far in this game, we're seeing both teams starting to rely a bit on the long ball, but the West Van team on the ferry, they stressed to me that they really want to play the ball on the ground. So far this game is probably in Harps' favor, but neither team has really had a chance so far. Harps are quite an interesting team. They are mainly of Irish descent, and they've actually been around for a long time. They were a Vancouver Irish Football Club originally, but then they joined the Vancouver Metro Soccer League, and they renamed themselves the Vancouver Harps. They're not purely Irish, and they won't turn anyone away for not being Irish, but the core of their team is still very Irish. As we have an injury now on the Harps. Gives these guys a bit of a breather on this hot day. I think it's about 24 degrees here in Nanaimo. But this is definitely worrying as the manager is going to come out on the pitch just to take a look at this player. It's not something you want to see, especially in a cup final. Injuries, especially in the men's Masters B division where, you know, these guys, they don't bounce back as fast as 20-year-olds do. But they certainly do have a passion for the game, and it's great to see them still playing at a bit of an older age, but a lot of them are still quite young and quite fit and quite fast, and they're still putting on a very good soccer game thus far. We can't forget that this portion of our Adult Provincial Cup broadcast is brought to you by Boston Pizza in Nanaimo, 5779 Turner Road. For takeout and delivery all day, every day, including Mother's Day, it's Boston Pizza Nanaimo, home of the shareables menu. Try the pizza poutine, onion rings, meatball sliders at bostonpizza.com. He's just going to go off the pitch for a little bit and try and shake that one off, but that's a tough one for Gallagher, and his Harps team will have to play down a man for a little while. It does look like we're going to be getting a substitution, though, as one of the players on the bench, I can't quite tell who, is putting on his kit as Gallagher tries to shake off that injury. Harps regain possession in their own end and will transition up the field. There's the long ball that we've gotten used to for the Harps, even though they say they want to play on the ground. And that's right back to Ben West, who plays it back to the goalkeeper, Marco Durante. Now it's Smith in the middle of the pitch. He falls down but plays it back to O'Halloran. Just getting a bit of a talking to from the ref. That's center back Horgan for a bit of a vicious challenge in midfield. No yellow card, but just a talking to. We are seeing that substitution for Gallagher, who went off injured just a few minutes ago, and it's a straight swap position-wise. As that is the first chance of the game. Brian Naughton coming on now. One of the younger players in this game will now be manning the midfield for the Harps. Now down in the far end for the Flying Horses is a throw-in, and they'll take this one trying to get first good shot on goal of the game. That throw goes straight and is quickly turned over, and that'll be a goal kick for the Cucumber Man in the Harps box as the players just go out and get ready for the reset and play. The West Van keeper just urging his team forward, play it on the ground, play more vicious, get the attack, keep it in their end. It's exactly what they want to do, and they are a quality team. They were saying that they've played this Harps team before, and they really know what to go after them for. But we haven't seen that so far in this game. Another turnover in favor of the Harps, but that one's played in the air. And now here's a chance for West in the box. West just is toppled over, but that's not going to be a penalty, as they say that's a foul on West, and it'll be a free kick for the Vancouver Harps. plays it out wide for Aruk. Aruk on the wing. He plays it inside, looking for a cross. Tries to find Halloran in the box, but he just falls down. And here's the counterattack, just swept up by Gallagher. Here's the captain, O'Halloran, with the long ball up and right back to Burns. Burns out wide to Lawler on the wing. They're playing a very defined 4-4-2, and they can hold their structure quite well with the wingbacks attacking quite a bit. They're pushing into the spaces. As you can see, Dalton, who's actually playing left back, he's pushing into that space on our near side here, number 17, as we see him challenge. And that's a very offensive left back, and we see that same thing on the right-hand side with Forelli, as the fullbacks are just pushing forward and getting into that attack with the midfielders dropping back to cover. An aerial ball back to the keeper. That'll be challenged, but he just volleys that out back to midfield and out of danger's way. Here's Shane Carfin playing it back to his defense for the Flying Horses. And that'll be out for a goal kick. The Harps are without one of their mainstay center backs, David McDermott, who suffered a serious injury mid-season and has been sorely missed. And their defensive record has shown that they've had a little more trouble keeping balls out of the net, but so far in this game, it hasn't seemed to be a problem, as neither team has really had a threatening offensive chance. Marco Durante is now grabbing his ball cap, which he was wearing in warm-ups and before the game. So I guess the sun has moved throughout this half, and he will now be wearing a ball cap in net for West Van FC. Big free kick from their own end, and that's right into the opposition box. But they'll get in and play it out wide to Flaherty.
Off the hook on those, yeah?
Here's a free kick for Harps. They'll send this one up the pitch and keep it out wide on that same side, but it's turned over to the Flying Horses as they head it on and almost get through. But we'll get a very threatening free kick from about 30 yards out. Let's see who lines up for this. Looks like Drew Lewis is going to take this for the Flying Horses, but it doesn't look like he's going to take a shot. He's just going to loop it in, try and get a hit on it, but that's out for a goal kick. Good opportunity, but not cashed in on, and they didn't even test the goalkeeper on that. I think if they had a left-footed player, they should have tried a shot there and tried to curl it into the corner, but I guess the aerial ball into the box is just a little more realistic, especially at this level. Goal kick into midfield, nodded on, and here's Burke. Now taken by the captain, O'Halloran. Turnover there, but played out wide to the left midfielder, and here's the fullback. Tries a little move there, but it's just out. Down the line for the... And here we go. This could be the best offensive chance of the game. Harps coming through midfield into the final third. Play it out wide to the right-hand side. Chip it over, and that's another turnover. Here come the Harps through midfield. Very central left midfield there. That's back to Burke. Harps looking with a bit more life here. Trying to string a tune to a goal. Big opportunity here for the Harps in their final third where they haven't had much success of late. That one just cleared out by the defense but taken by O'Halloran. Sent right back in and it's going to come out to the keeper and he holds on to it. O'Halloran, the skipper for the Harps, is just playing it through, and that'll be a foul. It's a bit of a late challenge there by West Van, and it'll be a chance for the Irishman to play this ball back into the box and hopefully get a lucky bounce. Ball into the box, but it's cleared out and taken out by West Van as they try and hit them on the counterattack. Now it's the Harps in their own end, just trying to play it in. West Van controlling in their own end, just playing it to the side, and that'll go off of Harps. Throwing for the Harps, just nodded on. That's a simple tactic that has proved useful in all levels of soccer. Just the throw in, the nod on, and run onto it afterwards. You have a guy marking the guy who has his head on the ball, and then you just knock it on, and you usually have an open guy behind him there. Neither team with too many threatening chances so far in this game. But the ball has been on the ground a lot more in the last couple of minutes than it was early in the game. Here's O'Halloran just playing it back as they try and gain control, and That's the kind of pass, that one did go wide, but that's the kind of pass that early in the game they would have just kicked randomly, but at least they tried to control pass there. Nodded on by the Harps. Now it's Smith, challenged by two Harps, but just hit out, and a bit of a hit there, but no harm, no foul, as they give a little high five and get right back to it. Harps played out wide. That's to Dalton there. Dalton has shown very well in the left of midfield for Vancouver Harps, and he's been kind of their only threat going forward, going wide and cutting in central as well. He's a quality player so far, a step above the rest in this game. Here's O'Halloran. Burke. Halloran in midfield, just over the head of the referee as they switch the play and try to orchestrate an attack here. That ball just a little bit long, and that'll be a turnover in favor of West Van FC. Ball just up into the midfield. Pretty hot day here in Nanaimo. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these guys are getting a little bit tired or dehydrated, so it'll be very important at halftime to stay hydrated. There's a chance with a slow pass from the keeper, but the West Van striker just had a bit of a slip up there and wasn't able to cash in on that opportunity. That ball just ricochets off, and the Harps gain possession out of midfield, rushing through midfield. He's challenged, and it's another turnover in favor of the Harps. Here's James. And that ball just into the bleachers on this near-hand side. A fan will just throw it back in, and we'll get set to reset play here in Nanaimo, British Columbia for this Men's Provincial Masters B Cup Final. These are tough trophies to win, you know, especially for this division where you have a ton of teams all across the province, and it's come down to the last two, these two teams here. Whitecaps and Pacific FC midfielder Peter Shad, not midfielder, play-by-play man Peter Shad, was on the TSN 1040 Halford and Bruff show yesterday talking about how hard it is to win these championships and what it takes for a lot of these teams to get to Nanaimo, the fundraising for a lot of the younger teams, and just the level of play and the grind it takes to win these provincial cups, which have been around for over 100 years, some of them even in the late 1800s. Soccer's been played in this province competing for some of these cups. That's a good turn by the Harps as they cut into the box, and just a bit of a weak touch there, and that'll be a turnover, but they do get the ball back as Dalton goes up for the throw-in. About halfway through the first half here. Haven't had much of note, but I'm sure as players get a little dehydrated, players get a little bit tired, we'll start to see some defensive mistakes and possibly some opportunities open up here. Here's West. Out wide to Reed. Mark Reed now just taking his time, surveying his options, and will send a ball into the midfield for the Flying Horses. O'Halloran just gaining in midfield, and he's the skipper. He's been leading from the front, and he has definitely been orchestrating a lot of good soccer ideas throughout that midfield. We're getting a sub here. 2 subs, actually, for the Flying Horses, as the 2 strikers are coming off in favor of another 2 strikers. Fred Stojic is coming off. Pardon, Fred Stojic is coming on. Born in 1972, lives in West Vancouver. An interesting change, changing both of their strikers. That ball just played into the corner, and that'll be a turnover as we continue at the 25th minute with no real chances in this game. Here's a substitution for the Harps. Burns is coming out of the game. He's been quite good, quite physical, quite offensive, but just hasn't been able to get through that defense, and probably a bit of a faster player coming on now. Can't quite tell who. That ball headed out wide, and just chipped over, and will be played back to the keeper, but a bit of a missed kick there gives West Van Flying Horses a corner kick in the 26th minute here in Nanaimo, British Columbia. It'll be an in-swinger here, coming from the right-hand foot of the striker for West Van. Quite a few tall guys in the box for the Flying Horses, as they'll try and get their horses flying and get onto this ball, but that's just grabbed by the keeper, and the players will go back to midfield as he just slows the game down a little and tries to orchestrate an attack out of the back for the Harps. That's a dive. I don't like seeing that in the game. A bit of a tough challenge there, but I think that was a dive by number 19 for the Harps. O'Halloran standing over this free kick in midfield. Just about on where the attacking third begins. But he'll leave this off to the right back to send this in. Flying Horses possibly suspecting a shot from here. I don't know if I would be suspecting that, because they are setting up a wall, but we'll see if they can get ahead on this in the box for the Flying Horses. That was a shot, and the wall was poorly set up, and ball just sneaks through, but goes wide of the net. Having a defender take the goal kick for West Van. That's something I know a lot of teams do, especially in the semi-pro and amateur levels. We have another substitution here at the right back for West Van. As that ball is just taken by Dalton. That's a bit of a tough challenge, and that could be a yellow card as he got his elbow quite high on the Harp striker there. And they are calling on the doctor immediately as that was a bit of head contact there, and he is writhing in pain. Not a good sign, seeing as they already had a guy go down to injury, and especially on a day like today, you don't want to have too many guys go down to injury as you could get tired fairly quickly. It will be presented with a strong opportunity though, especially by their set piece specialist. A little unclear who's going to be taking this kick as the players just get a little hydrated with some water from their manager. Looks like it's going to be the substitute, Brian Naughton, standing over this free kick. He'll try and curl this in as it does not look like he's going to try and loop this in for a header. Another substitution for the Harps with Phil O'Neill coming in as that ball just skims the crossbar and just goes over. Good free kick there, but not good enough. And there's another goal kick for the Flying Horses. Thank you to everyone tuning in for this game. It's shown a pretty good game so far, but no real attacking chances just yet, with that free kick being the first really legitimate chance in these first 30 minutes here. 15 minutes away from halftime. If you have any thoughts on the game or anything else, you can always tweet me at bensteiner00 on Twitter, and might even read your tweets on air. If you have any thoughts on the game or anything else regarding these Provincial Cup finals this weekend here in Nanaimo, British Columbia, hosted by Nanaimo United Soccer Club. Lots and lots of games going on this weekend, and lots of Provincial Cups. The Men's A and Women's A finals will be tomorrow, but the Masters are all today, both men and women. The Women's Masters B is actually happening just behind me between the Cowichan Valley and Vancouver Mariloma. Last I checked, it was 1-0 Mariloma, but I have not checked that in a little while. Corner kick now for the Harps. And I'll just play it back into the midfield and try and orchestrate an attack, trying to break the deadlock here 35 minutes into this first half. You know the game is a little slow when I don't have to turn behind me and look at the replay monitor to analyze any replay, because there hasn't been any big foul and there hasn't been any goals thus far, or even really threatening chances. As we see another substitution for the Flying Horses. Tim McMorrin coming in. I wouldn't be surprised if he shares some roots with the Harps, being from Ireland and a name like McMorrin. As that ball just goes wide and it will be out for a throw for the Flying Horses. The Women's Provincial Cup final behind me is probably drawing to a close here. I'll get you a score update on that quite soon, as Harps just make a turn there through the midfield, but is taken by West Van. West Van's home field is one of the most beautiful fields in the province. They play at Ambleside Park in West Vancouver. There's 5 or 6 fields there. I've played there myself, and you are overlooking the bay in Vancouver, and you have the mountains on one side. It's just a beautiful, beautiful field. One of their first forays into the offensive half is called offside. They really want to stay onside for that, and that's a tough one to take, especially seeing as that was a promising possession there for West Van. Mariloma is still leading 1-0 in the game behind me, as they could be set to win yet another provincial championship for that club, a very successful club in Vancouver soccer history. Throw in now for West Van. And just taken out by the keeper, and we'll try and organize something from the back for the Harps as they try and take a lead heading into halftime. But so far, the way this game has gone, I don't really see that there will be a lead going into halftime, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're entering the break in a deadlock. Here come Harps through the zone. And that's just dropped right back to West Van. He spreads the play and just shifts the play over to the left-hand side and the far side of the broadcast, as they will try and organize an attack there, but it just goes wide and they won't get anything from that spell of possession. West Van up through midfield, but that one's just a little bit long and taken out by the Harps. That could be a turnover there if he keeps it in, and he does. Surveys his options, just drops it back. West Van now trying to play that through, but just not quick enough, as the keeper will get there and take it out for the Harps here with just over 10 minutes remaining, plus added time in this first half. Shane Carfin standing over this defensive end free kick for the Flying Horses. Definitely a pretty neat name, Flying Horses. Wonder where that originated. O'Halloran now through midfield, trying to orchestrate an attack. He's going as fast as he possibly can, but just gets it kicked out, but they still keep possession, and it's back to O'Halloran. Not as many options, but he plays it into the box, and that's just cleared by West Van. Now Dalton on the left side. Pretty neat thing about this Harps team is they don't play in their club's kits. They actually play in Celtic FC kits. They all buy the same Celtic kit, which I find sort of neat. Definitely look very professional wearing this kit. They are a much smaller club, and it's really only this team for the Harps, so they don't have a form kit like the West Van side do, who have teams all the way from Kickstart and U6 up to this men's Masters B in the 35 plus division. Tries to play it into the middle, but it's just given away to Smith. And headed away out of danger from the Harps. I don't know about you at home, but I'm dying to see a scoring chance and maybe even a goal here. I'm sure in this heat and this weather, nobody wants to go into extra time or the stresses of penalty kicks. If either team could get ahead on any of these free kicks, there's been a lot of them, but the delivery just hasn't been there, and it's not there again as that one is out for a goal kick in favor of the Harps. There's not really any big targets out there for either side. The center back for West Van is fairly big, but he wasn't up there for the free kick. Don't really understand why. I think if you threw him up there, you'd have a higher chance to get ahead on it. As West Van win that header and just play it back, and it's shielded now by the right back of West Van has kept it in the offensive area for quite a while now, but just haven't been able to really test the keeper at all. And they give it away once they get into the box, as they did there yet again. Both teams' defenses have been fairly good, but the attacks have been dreadful. If you are watching, please do let me know whether it's on Facebook or Twitter where you're watching. As myself, I can't find the broadcast on Twitter, so do let me know. I'm at BenSteiner00 on Twitter. It's definitely a hard task running a football club, and even if it's just the one team like the Harps do. Paul Stack is the club chairman and manager, and he's been nicknamed by the players Stackatoni. And he's the manager of this Masters team. He has he's single-handedly held this club together throughout the years, over 80 years of this club, and he deserves a lot of credit. That's coming from the captain who I spoke to yesterday, Stephen O'Halloran. Five minutes left here, plus added time, as the pace has just picked up a little bit as one team wants to go into halftime with a lead, but I don't know if that's going to happen, as this has been a very cagey affair at Merle Logan Field here. That ball just out of play and over the fence, so we'll need a fan to go get that and throw it back in for the players to be able to resume play. That does give a chance for a bit of a water break, as now we resume play with Harps in possession. Harps have not had much going offensively for the last 10 or so minutes, but we'll try their best here, as that one just skips over Dalton, and that looked like a bit of a handball, but no call by the referee, and just booted out by the Harps forward. It's great to see all the people who came out here today even to see the men's Masters and women's Masters B finals. It's a really exciting time in Canadian soccer, especially with the launch of the Canadian Premier League and the nearby Pacific FC of Victoria, Vancouver Island, representing the one of the first professional soccer teams to represent the island, first since the Victoria Vistas in the old Canadian Soccer League. And 3 weeks in, that Canadian Premier League is looking very promising, and Pacific have looked like a very exciting team. They even boast one of the youngest players in the CPL. I believe he is actually the youngest, Ahmed Al-Ghamdi, who his club team before Pacific is competing this weekend in the under-21 division, Reno's Tigers. Reno's Tigers is a very intriguing team. They have a bunch of guys who will be playing with the TSS Rovers in the USL 2 this coming season. That's with out at Swangard Stadium in Burnaby, and same league with the Victoria Highlanders, actually. There's the Polisi brothers and Victory Shambusho all playing in that league. Lots of UBC, SFU, and Reno's talent in USL 2 this coming season. Almost coming to a close in this first half, and neither team has been able to really test the keeper. We've had some close chances that have skimmed over the bar or just gone wide, but neither keeper has been forced to make a save so far. Here's a good transition by the Harps. Plays it out wide, and we'll see if he has enough pace to get there, but it doesn't look like he does, as this is played back to the ball-cat man. Pretty interesting that we have two odd goalkeepers. I'm sure they're nice people, but one's wearing a ball cap and one eats a whole cucumber right before the game. So there's definitely something special. As here's the first chance of the game. West Van in on goal, comes out to challenge, and that's a great save by the Harps keeper, Brad Bodenheimer. Comes out and challenges the West Van striker and just smothers that ball, and that's really the first time he's been tested. First time either keeper has been tested in this wicked game so far. We're into stoppage time here. Never shown how much stoppage time there was, but it'll be any minute now as the ref takes a look at his watch, but we'll let this final play be taken by West Van. Ball into the box and just cleared out and taken by possession by the Harps. West Van have the ball. Referee looks at his watch but won't call yet. And it's back into the box. West Van just taken down in the box, but there's not going to be a penalty there as it's smothered by the keeper, and that should be it once he clears this out. We've played quite a fair bit of added time here, but that's not going to be it. He's going to let us play on, and he's going to call a foul in favor of the Harps here. Just seeing now that it was 3 minutes of added time. About a minute and a half into that here. And with all his time ticking off the clock, it really could be the last chance for Harps to get a leg up in this first half here in the Provincial Cup final. And that's going to be halftime. We get to halftime with the score of 0-0 between the Flying Horses and the Harps. A few injuries, a lot of substitutions, and one real good chance for West Van. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
Thank all volunteers and staff for making this weekend possible. On behalf of BC Soccer, thank you for your support of adult soccer in British Columbia and for attending this weekend's provincial championship.
BC Soccer is a not-for-profit society that is membership-based with an elected volunteer board of directors. As the provincial sport governing body, BC Soccer's mission is to promote, develop, and govern the game of soccer in BC in a professional and progressive manner. BC Soccer's aim is to support Canada Soccer's goals of national and international success, while also maintaining our provincial government's goals of inclusiveness and accessibility. These two objectives are also accompanied by our aim of supporting our members and providing technical and operational leadership. At almost 1 million square kilometers, British Columbia is a large province, and the membership consists of youth districts and adult leagues which oversee their affiliated soccer clubs and their teams throughout the province. Over the past few years, BC Soccer has made strides forward in supporting our members through some key initiatives. One of those initiatives is the coaching certification requirement. All coaches within the BC Soccer membership must complete the age-specific coach education requirement to support all playing environments. Another major initiative was the BC Soccer Club Charter Program. Focusing on governance, technical, and administrative standards, the BC Soccer Club Charter Program is designed to help support our members and their affiliate clubs. Player development has and always will be a major focus of BC Soccer. Whether players are playing within the high-performance stream or within the grassroots stream of soccer, BC Soccer works closely with our members to ensure that all players have the opportunity to develop to whatever level they aspire to. BC Soccer doesn't just focus on player development, they also help develop more than 2,500 referees within BC. Through various referee initiatives, BC Soccer helps to train, support, and educate referees throughout the province. Providing effective and efficient governance, regardless of your location, is a top priority to BC Soccer. By providing good practice guides and templates, and through various support programs, BC Soccer works hard to support each and every member. Working with the members and their affiliate clubs, BC Soccer hosts provincial championships for all ages, starting at U13. These provincial championships help clubs and districts showcase their facilities, as well as everything their communities have to offer. BC Soccer continuously looks to improve each provincial championship year after year. Working with the entire membership and in all areas of the province, BC Soccer is looking forward to continuing to promote, govern, and develop the game in British Columbia. If you have any questions, BC Soccer encourages you to visit the website at bcsoccer.net.
Hi, I'm Michael Finley, Director of Soccer Development for the British Columbia Soccer Association. BC Soccer, over the last 2 years, has developed an initiative called the Grassroots Development Service Plan, where we've put together a group of 20 grassroots tutors who reach the regions of British Columbia to educate coaches and players on stage and age-specific development techniques and opportunities. FIFA has a global initiative on the appropriate ways to deliver grassroots football in a station form. Rotating players in and out of game formats and skill development provides a much more responsible and, most importantly, an enjoyable method of delivering football development to our children.
Okay, I'm Marcos Tinoco, FIFA instructor, and it's been so great to be here in Vancouver doing this FIFA grassroots course. Amazing participants, they did extremely well. The grassroots program is designed for 6 to 12 years. So in between 6 to 12, children learn the basics of the game, having fun, getting the right instructions from the coach. Coaches are instructed how to deal with the children at this age, to introduce them the game, introduce the basics of the game, and give them the right way to develop and learn the techniques.
This was a culmination of bringing together FIFA's guidance, Canadian Soccer Association's guidance, and helping our tutors affect our children in a much more dramatic way in wanting to make football, as they say soccer in this country, a primary decision in their active life.
for the FIFA Live Your Goals event. FIFA Live Your Goals is a festival where little girls come and play soccer through station work. Really, FIFA is promoting the participation of girls in the game of soccer. Live Your Goals program is about having fun and having those girls engaged in the game of soccer for life.
And welcome back to Mayor Logan Field in Nanaimo, British Columbia for the second half of this Men's Masters Provincial B Cup between Vancouver Harps and the West Van FC Flying Horses. Neither side really flying in that first half, but both teams will try and end this before 90 minutes, as neither team really wants to go into extra time or even penalty kicks. A few cloud cover here, so that'll help the heat and tiredness of these players as West Van get set to kick off here.
On behalf of BC Soccer and Coach Toronto United, congratulations to both teams on their successful seasons and to players, coaches, families, and fans.
And as always, this broadcast and these provincial championships are presented by Boston Pizza, especially by Boston Pizza Nanaimo, 5779 Turner Road, for takeout and delivery all day, including Mother's Day. It's Boston Pizza Nanaimo, home of the shareables menu. Try the pizza poutine, onion rings, and meatball sliders at bostonpizza.com. The left winger for Harps is actually one of the most established players in this men's division. He has one cap for Ireland. He's from Manchester, England, though. That's Jamie Dalton. That ball just sent into the box, but is cleared away by the Harps, and they will gain possession. West Van out to the right-hand side. West Van surveys their options, tries to send it in, but that's going to go into the side netting, and will be a goal kick for the Harps.
The trophy presentation will be taking place in between the two fields by the blue BC Soccer tent and the white championship flags. If any fans want to come down for photos, we do invite you to do so as well. After the team photos taken by the net.
Brad Bodenheimer now on the goal kick. He's going to send this up, and it looks like he's going to be going to the left-hand side, the far side of our broadcast booth.
A wonderful craft beer from one of Nanaimo's best breweries and great friend of the tournament. Again, 19 plus, head on over, grab yourself a beer from Longwood Brewery at the far end of the pitches.
West Van now controlling the midfield. A lot like the start of the first half, the ball has been in the air a lot in these first couple minutes. Not something that's going to be favoring either team, especially given their size and their speed, as the ball travels a lot faster in the air. That's our first yellow card of the game, and that's going against West Van. Their center back there getting into the book for first time this game. West Van isn't in the best of form coming into this game. They've drawn their last two matches, winning a couple before then. Harps, on the other hand, they have gotten results in their last 15 games. 12 of their last 15 they've won, and the other 3 they have tied. Both these teams do play in the same league, so they're very familiar with each other. That's probably why this has been a cagey affair thus far. They know exactly where to attack each other and where each other aren't very capable of, as we've seen both attacks be stifled so far through about 50 minutes here in Nanaimo. Looks like we're playing with the new FIFA rules with non-challenged drop kicks here. And of course the goal kicks are also allowed to be played inside the box. I was at the Pacific FC home opener a couple weeks ago, and the Canadian Premier League has also adopted the new set of rules that aren't going to come into full effect for another few months, but I was very confused as some of the goal kicks were in the box, and I had to have someone explain to me the new changes into the rules, which I think will be pretty good for the entirety of the game. I think that a lot of these guys, they put a lot of thought into it, and it'll help grow the game and maybe even make it a little more entertaining as teams have gotten more defensively in the past few years. Now it's the Harps breaking into the zone, but that whiffed on the shot as that one is just rolled into the hands of the goalkeeper. Harps now enjoying a bit of a spell of possession, and that is clearly offside, and the referee is not going to miss that one. The referee has been unnoticeable today, and that's what you want from a referee. He's let a bit of physicality go through, but there's not going to be too much pushing and shoving because everybody does realize what they are up against. Here's Dalton, former international. Definitely not the biggest game he's played in, but I'm sure it's still very important to him. It would certainly be interesting hearing his experience playing in the big stadiums in Europe versus playing on Merrill Logan Field here in Nanaimo in what is still yet a tough trophy to win and a fantastic tournament, the BC Provincial Cup. O'Halloran plays it back to the back line, and they'll try another long ball, which hasn't proven so good lately, but they keep on trying. Dalton controls in the midfield, but is neatly tackled by West Van, and they'll regain possession in the midfield and try and get an attack going and try and break this deadlock here between these two teams. Here's the captain, just a quick turn, sends it back into midfield to some space. He goes through the hole, up through the middle of the pitch, but just rolls into the keeper, and that's another turnover by the teams. That's a very high kick, definitely out of your camera view, but it was very high and just over the half, as you saw. That pass just goes a little wide, and it will be back into the hands of the Irishman. Dave Farrelly on the throw-in. He puts it down the line, and that'll be challenged, and they keep possession here with the striker just challenging there but can't get the ball. They're definitely coming to the ball a little more, Harps, but they just can't be finding that last little gasp or that last little area that they need to get in on goal. Still, the first real and only real chance that has happened was that opportunity West Van had midway through, closer to the end of the first half, where they broke it on goal, but was neatly smothered by the Harps goaltender. That ball just skips through. That's an odd one. And he's going to be pushed over. A long shot, but the not too threatening, as that's another save by the Harps goaltender. Thrown up to midfield and played out wide to Flaherty. Flaherty into the middle, but is intercepted by West Van, and they'll try and get there first, and they do, but it neatly turned it right back over, and that's a nifty little move in the midfield by the Harps as they try and string a tune together and get this first goal. This is one of their better spells of possession so far this game, but that's a tackle, and they still have possession, but that will be a foul. He pushed him with two hands, and that's a foul in every level of the game, whether it's under 21s or masters or even the professionals. That is a foul in every part of the game, and I'm almost a little bit surprised we didn't see a yellow card there. That possession opportunity just flubbed a little, and That ball will go to waste as the Harps still struggle to get an offensive chance. Shane Caffrin, the captain, is definitely a threat up front for West Van, and he had that chance early in the first half. And here's a chance, and that one's in the net. We have a goal! The Harps lead 1-0 here in this Men's Provincial Cup final. And as we saw in the game across the way, 1-0 was enough, and this could be enough here with the first goal in the game. A beautiful chip coming off a great long ball, and that long ball we've seen throughout the game. And it hasn't proven well until now, but that's a beautiful goal there. And it's 1-0 for the Harps. Great run by Kieran Clark there. Just getting on that ball and chipping it over the goaltender for the first goal of the game, breaking that deadlock. And they'll definitely have to focus defensively for this next about half hour here. Substitution getting set to take place for West Van, as now they have to climb back out of this little hole they've dug themselves. Definitely a little more urgency now sensed in the game, now that one team is trailing. West Van now controlling in their own end, just playing it back to the keeper. Kieran Clark, the goal scorer there, with that beautiful little lob over the keeper. Not really a chip, but definitely just lobbing it over the keeper, and the keeper not really any chance there. West Van now trying to erase this small deficit that they find themselves in. Playing it back to the center back. Only one man back now in their own end. Clearly pushing bodies forward, trying to find that equalizer. And they want to find it quick to be able to find a winner possibly. Out wide, we see the runs going into the box. That cross coming in. Here's the captain, but he just doesn't get there as O'Halloran puts it out. Captain to captain, the two bald guys.
SU has goal scored in the 54th minute. The ball number 23, Kieran Clark.
That ball just played up to the forwards and just kicked on as West Van try and push their way through. But he's going to be called offside. It's definitely an odd call. I don't know whether that was really offside. You might be able to see better at home, but it definitely looked onside to me from here. Taking their time here, as they certainly will for the rest of this game. It's been a cagey affair so far, and the Harps are leading 1-0, and they'll definitely want to kill off as much time as possible, hoping that this 1-0 win will lead them to hoisting the Provincial Cup at the end of this. West Van through the middle of the pitch, trying to find an opportunity, just slows it down and sends it into the middle before sending it to the left back out wide. Good quick passing, but that's a bit of a big touch there, but they keep possession. That pass just behind its target, but the West Van Flying Horses are keeping possession here and just drawing in and organizing what they want to do in the offensive areas. I wonder if the West Van manager is thinking of maybe an offensive substitution here, as their strikers haven't really been able to find their runs, but the midfielders have been able to start orchestrating some passes. They're still very reliant on long balls and crosses if they are to find the ball to their strikers. More people filing in for this Provincial Cup weekend here in Nanaimo on these two fields here. Won't have to worry about the field going under any wear and tear because it is plastic, as much as it might hurt a lot of these guys' legs and knees and abrasions, all of that. It is plastic, and we'll have to deal with it this weekend. This is the men's Masters B Cup final in Nanaimo, with the Vancouver Harps leading West Van Flying Horses 1-0. A lot of mythical creatures in this. Flying horses, don't know if I've ever seen one of those. And a harp, it's not mythical, but it's sort of that realm. The Harps do all wear Celtic jerseys. Makes you wonder if all of them are Celtic supporters, purely Irish, or if there's a few Rangers supporters who are just putting away the Celtic shirts for the purpose of this game. West Van into the offensive zone. They have 4 guys up the field. That one will just trickle through as Flattery gets the ball, and long strides through midfield as the West Van striker tries to get back. That ball just over the top, but it is cleared out by the West Van defender. Ref runs over. There's a bit of a tussle here. There was a vicious challenge, and these guys are roughing it up here. We're going to definitely see some cards as the ref ran over, and this is definitely heating up. We are getting some choice words through some of the players, and not what you want to see in a Provincial Cup final. But there's clearly a passion that both these sides share, and both of them certainly do want to win this championship. It's a yellow card to the Harps there. I'm almost surprised we're not seeing a red card after that affair. Well handled by all 3 referees there, just going in to break up the tussle, as I wouldn't have been surprised to see some of these guys drop the gloves. That is a hockey term. West Vancouver plays it out wide, and that's to a substitute who's not wearing a penny. So they thought he was just an open wide player, and smart enough that they would play it out there. He was appearing to be in an offensive area, just too bad he wasn't actually on the pitch. And there's that offensive change I was talking about, bringing a bit of a taller guy in. That's Roger Leggett, born in 1981, coming into the field, trying to be that offensive threat that they really need up top, make those runs off the ball, and really make a chance out of these smart passes that they've been playing out of the midfield. That's for West Van. This whole Provincial Cup weekend is quite the festival. You have a lot of people around and just a good-natured spirit around it all. You have guys probably in their 40s and 50s on this Masters side, and you have it all down to the under 21s, where I'm sure we'll see some teenagers and some 15-year-olds even. And especially with the under-21s, maybe you'll see some professionals, future Canadian Premier League players playing in these games. That ball just played up and was controlled there by Matthew McGregor. Here's a promising chance for West Van here. Keith Smith standing over this. He'll definitely try and find one of the tall guys in the box. And here's Dalton, James Dalton, playing it up the pitch. And that one's just a little bit out and will be taken by West Van. Eric Ito with the throw-in. Sends it down the line. Ito again on the throw-in. That ball high and into the box, just bouncing around. Who's going to get it? Is it West Van? This is some dirty soccer play here. Ito now in midfield. Strike, and it's just defended by the Harps and out for another corner kick. Especially with Roger Leggett in the box now, there's definitely an opportunity for height, especially on the offensive foot for West Van. Corner comes in, it's an outswinger, and it's just cleared away by the captain, O'Halloran, as Ito now cleans it up and keeps it in the offensive end. He plays it out wide, and the cross comes right back in. Who's going to get on this? And here's West Van. West Van blocked on the line by the Harps defender. Great stop by Luke Gannon there. And that ball just put over. And there's a whistle in the box there, but it is not the way of the side that needs the goal now. It is to the side that is leading, and we'll get another opportunity to just tick some time off the clock here. Lots of exciting soccer coming up here later today. And it's all presented by Boston Pizza. The Adult Provincial Cup broadcast is brought to you by Boston Pizza Nanaimo, 5779 Turner Road, for takeout and delivery all day, including Mother's Day. Remember, Boston Pizza Nanaimo, home of the shareables menu. Try the pizza poutine, onion rings, meatball sliders, and Mad Mac Pizza at bostonpizza.com and in restaurant. Here's a chance for West Van. They loop it into the box, and that'll be collected by the keeper. He has been playing quite well this game, as no mistakes so far, and it might be that cucumber that he eats right before the game that's been fueling him into this magnificent performance. The Harps would be ending the season on a 13-game win streak if they do pull out this win here. Great move by Eric Ito there as he tries to get up into the offensive end. That ball taken by Dalton and back to the left back, who's been quite good so far this game, Luke Gannon. Sitting here in almost 70 minutes played, just over 22 minutes to go. And it's quite the game between these two teams as West Van try and just dig out of this little hole that they're in, and the Harps continue to play their beautiful passing and try and orchestrate the victory. Stringing together passes. All of the Harp puns I can think of. Lots more soccer happening today as just in a couple hours, we've got the men's under 21 division. And I'll be calling that game as well right here on bcsoccer.net, YouTube and Facebook. That game is going to be kicking off at about 2:30. Good tackle there at the top of the box, and that shot just ricochets off the defender and is back out to Eric Ito, back out wide to Cade Clark. Cade Clark sends it into the middle where it's taken back by that's a big kick, but he's going to be called offside. Or the ball went out, sorry. Here is Valeri. He'll send that one up into the box, and that is tried to ricochet out wide, but just that bounce not controlled, as that will give the ball back to West Van, and they'll want to get started quickly, trying to find their equalizer before time is up. There's not much coverage when it comes to VMSL, VISL, and Provincial Cup, but you can hear a lot of it on some independent media outlets. I know Michael McCall of Away From the Numbers does a lot of on-person covering of these leagues, and he has a real passion for grassroots soccer. And you can find a lot of writing about him on there. West Van now controlling the ball, trying to get an attack going in these closing minutes here, last 15 minutes here at Merle Lewin Field in Nanaimo. More time ticking off the clock in favor of the Irishmen. And they will take all the time they need. I can't think of the last team to win 12 of their games coming into a big tournament like this. Definitely in great form, and it would be a great cap to the season, especially a finish to this run that Harps have put together. West Van, though, they do stand in their way, and they do have an opportunity here in the last 15 minutes in Nanaimo. 20 minutes, my bad. I'm a little surprised that they aren't taking these chances a little bit faster, but they're still trying to find that perfect opportunity to find the equalizer. I'm sure that soon we'll be seeing a little more desperation from their Flying Horses, though, who aren't exactly soaring right now. Trotting along the ground, trying to get this ball into the air, trying to get it under the bar. That one's off the bar, but just out of play, and it'll be a goal kick. More substitutions here for West Van. The left back, now a substitution, probably just because of some fatigue, dehydration, tiredness. It is a hot day here in Nanaimo, as West Van try and find their way to an equalizer, not get shut out by this Harps team. O'Halloran wins the header in midfield, but immediately gives it away to West Van. That clearance is way up in the air. That'll stay in. Flaherty is going to challenge for that ball with the striker, and he just doesn't get it. We're beginning to see a little bit of that desperation for West Vancouver. That long shot just fubbed a little and is now taken by Eric Ito on the back line. West Van plays it into the box, trying to find their striker, can't quite find him. Now taken by Chad Smith in the middle of the pitch, plays it out wide. They'll try and find a cross, but is just swept up by Dalton there, and he'll play it up as now there's a foot race. It's a breakaway. Ito trying to chase him down, but West Van in on goal, and it just flubs on the kick. Great challenge and great tracking back by Eric Ito there. One of the younger guys on this team and definitely has the legs to last all 90 minutes here. That's a turnover there. Trying to find an opportunity to extend their lead here. Stringing together some passes. Cross goes in, and it's off the bar. Close opportunity to really put this game away, but it's off the bar, and West Van still has life in this game. Bit of a late challenge there by the Harps backline, and that'll give West Van a chance all the way in the final third. Here's the substitution for West Van. A new striker coming on, Drew Lewis. He'll looks like a fast guy and will try and get on to some of the balls that they've been playing on the ground. Another clearance there, taken out by the left back. Controls it on the far side, and he looks into the box, sends it in. Smith on the ball. Shot blocked on the line and is bouncing around the area, but it's cleared by the Harps. Here come the Vancouver Harps through the midfield. It's almost time to park the ball in the corner, but not quite yet. They're still looking to extend their lead.
Soccer fans, and welcome to the Royal Logan Fields here in Nanaimo and on traditional Smananoc territory, home of the 2019 BC Soccer Adult Provincial Finals. Our third match of the championship weekend is the Women's Masters A Final, featuring two teams from the Metro Women's Soccer League. Coquitlam Metro Ford SC Classics versus the Coquitlam Gunners.
Here come the Harps. The game is definitely slowed down here. There was a lot of intensity right after that goal, but it's slowed down a lot. And the Harps just trying to kill this one off as West Van try and find their equalizer. That ball is over the stands, and that could take a while to get back.
Meeting with the Coquitlam Metro Ford Classics. Number 1, Susan Visora. Number 2, Sadie McClure. Number 6, Sophie Grenier. Number 8, Sarah Maglio. Number 9, Katrina Shepard. Number 11, Naomi Gucci. Number 14, Phoebe Trotman. Number 15, Robin Knight Scott.
Another substitution.
Number 18, Janine
Again, probably just some fresh legs. He was in the game earlier, and he showed quite well. That's Darren Sello coming in, and immediately onto the ball.
Number 1, Aaron Michelle. Number 2, Lauren Hatchie. Number 11, Lauren McKenzie. Number 13, Jennifer Rogers. Number 14, Misha Murado. Number 15, Anna Montebello. Number 16, Sarah Miles. Number 17,
West
Sarah
Van now
Brown.
pushing into the offensive areas.
Number 20,
Another
Jennifer
cross goes
Guzzi.
in, but that's going to be collected by the keeper, and he's going to want to slow this game down, and it's already at a bit of a crawl, but he's going to bring it in even slower as he clears that one way out to the top of the circles and is taken by the West Van back line. Dalton now, who hasn't played as big a role in this half as he did in the first, but he was definitely visible in that first half. You may hear the national anthem in the background as the other game is just starting behind me. That's the Women's Masters A final just beginning behind me. And the Masters B final wrapped up about half an hour ago with Mariloma winning 1-0 over the Cowichan Valley. So we could be seeing 2 1-0 games in the Masters B division here at the BC Provincial Cup. That's how it's looking so far, with just over 10 minutes left here in the second half, with the Harps leading the West Van Flying Horses 1-0. A couple guys on the ground now for both teams, as there was a bit of a tussle there, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some substitutions, and they're calling out the managers to come onto the field to just care for their players. It does give everybody a chance, including me, to grab a little bit of water and a bit of a rest here. And get some refreshments to power them through these last 10 minutes. Of course, all this time will be added back on the clock in injury time, and I'm sure our referee has not forgotten that fact. The game has definitely been a little more exciting in the second half, but it has still been a fairly cagey affair by both teams. And I imagine the women's final was much the same, the one that was a 1-0 win for Mariloma. After this game, we do have the under-21s coming up, and that'll be a much faster-paced game, just given the ages. But I'm sure that all of these guys played when they were youngins, and I'm sure all of the under-21s will certainly be playing Masters 1 days as well. Both players limping off the pitch slowly, and that's not something we really want to see here, especially on such a joyous day for both teams, and both of them will be going home with hardware. It's just a question of what color. Substitutions for both teams here. Byrne coming back into the striker position for James Dalton, keeping that physicality and defensive awareness out there. Great performance by Dalton, though, the former Irish international. West Vancouver just skipping through the midfield there, trying to find this last chance at an opportunity, and it's not going to be easy with the Harps trying to kill off the game, and that is a bit of a cheeky move, chipping it over the fence, trying to kill off as much time as they possibly can. Tick, 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 time coming off the clock. And that would be the only thoughts really running through these Harps' minds here. Is how much time can they possibly waste with just over 8 minutes to go as that throw-in comes in and bounces around the area. West Van get a shot on, but it is over the target and is stopped by the backstop. He's taking a lot of time. Make sure you want it perfectly lined up. I know goalkeepers like to have that Adidas symbol just pointing right down perfectly, and they got to line the ball up, make sure there's no smudges on it, and just make sure it's all perfect for their very exciting goal kick that comes in the last few minutes of a game. As you would expect, West Van clearly in front, trying to drive their attack late in this game, trying to find their last win of the season in their last game of the season and try and hoist that provincial cup at the end of this, but they will need to score 2 goals if they are to do that. Trailing by 1, 2 will lead them. Now the Harps on the ball in midfield will do their best to shield this and just control it. Valeri coming through the midfield, rolls it on the bottom of his foot, sees out wide. Clark now. Clark looks into the box, lets it come down to the corner, tries to pull it back, and the keeper will get that, but it is out of play, and he'll just restart play with a quick goal kick, and there's the bit of intensity that I've been calling for the last little while coming from the Flying Horses. West Vancouver now in the midfield, trying to get their way out of this hole. Back to the keeper now, as they'll try and find one of their last opportunities in this game. Ito to the side. Double teamed there by the Harps, and that one's out of play for a Harps throw. Just trying to kill off as much time as they can. Throw comes in, and Ito just dives to head that, but it will be out of play again for another Harps throw, and more opportunity to have seconds tick off the clock. 4.5 minutes plus added time to go here in this Provincial Cup final. Free kick, actually. It looked like a handball from Ito there. Bicycle kick opportunity, but doesn't work. They're going to call him on a high boot there and give the ball to West Van as the defender is down just in a bit of discomfort, but all's well that ends well, and we'll keep playing here in these last 4 minutes of this Provincial Cup final game. As always, this game is presented by Boston Pizza at 5779 Turner Road in Nanaimo. You can try their shareables menu at bostonpizza.com and in Nanaimo, and definitely a place I'm sure these teams might go celebrate after their various title-winning campaigns come to an end this afternoon. West Vancouver into the offensive end. But a little slip there gives the ball right back to the Harps, and they'll be pushing their way through, but can't quite get it. That'll be a foul in favor of the Harps and give them just another opportunity to kill some time off, as we saw Burke just kick the ball away, and Ito promptly gives it back to them and says, let's get play on, we want play. Again, the ball has to be perfectly aligned in these last final minutes, something that it definitely doesn't have to be at the start of the game. That ball up and wide and is gotten to by the Harps midfielder. He'll take his time sending the ball into the box to the top of the box. He tries to find the ball at his feet, puts it in, and that's smothered by the West Van keeper. He'll try and sprout a counterattack coming from their own end. Ito back up to Smith. Smith now chasing the ball in. He sends it into the box, but that is blocked off by the Harps defender. And it is still 1-0 for the Harps with 2 minutes plus added time to go here at Merrill Logan Field in Nanaimo, British Columbia. Desperation time now for West Van, if they are to have any hope of pushing this game past its 90 minutes. And another corner for the Flying Horses. I wonder if they'll be throwing the keeper up anytime soon. Ball comes in, and that's just tipped onto the bar by the keeper. Great stop by Bodenheimer, who has really led this team to where they're at and kept it clean defensively. Because West Van have had their chances as this corner comes in. Another punch by Bodenheimer, but it's not cleared. But there it is cleared out of danger by the Harps defender. Ito now keeps the ball in the final third. But there we go, it's cleared out, and it'll be Ito versus the striker. And played back to the keeper with just under a minute to play here in Nanaimo in this Provincial Cup final. And we'll definitely be seeing some added time. Here comes Clark through the midfield. He'll just want to keep the ball at his feet and draw the timeout. And that's 3 minutes of added time we're seeing now from the fourth official. And we're into those 3 minutes now, as the Harps they have a corner and will definitely just try and waste as much time as possible. Looks like they're just going to play it short and park it in the corner, as one does in these final minutes. Definitely not my favorite tactic in soccer, but it is effective. But West Van do defend that well and get out of their zone, and we'll have one last attack here in added time. That ball cleared out by the Harps, and they still have an opportunity here. Harps now just a minute and a half away from becoming Men's Masters B Provincial Cup champions and capping off a amazing run and finish to this season. West Van now keeping the ball on the ground, but will undoubtedly start to look for that long ball in these final seconds here. West Vancouver plays essentially not much desperation, but they know the situation. Thank you all for tuning into this game. It's been an exciting one, especially these last couple minutes as West Van try and find the equalizer, but they do miss a couple passes. Less than a minute to go here in Nanaimo. Sorry, I just dropped the headset there. Excuse my coughing, I can't seem to find a cough button or anything like that. Here's Ito. Will undoubtedly just hoof this up the field and try and get the last chance. I'm surprised the goalkeeper hasn't joined in on the attack, as it looks like the Harps are going to become the Provincial Cup champions, and they do. The final whistle goes, and the Vancouver Harps are 13 wins in their last 15 games and become the Provincial Cup champions. Thank you so much for tuning in to bcsoccer.net for this game. I'm Ben Steiner at BenSteiner00 on Twitter. Make sure to follow me for all of your Canadian Premier League and MLS news. And congratulations to the Vancouver Harps on winning their Men's Provincial B Cup Championship. A beautiful goal, and that's the story. 1-0 win, Vancouver Harps over West Vancouver. And that's the season, folks.